Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We're finally here, our final best of 3 of the evening here for the Knights Gauntlet of November, brought to you by Knights Arena, eBay, and Satva. I'm Becky, joined here by Cute Noob, and we've been anxiously awaiting this final match. So give me the down low. Who are we watching? And maybe soon we'll be able to get into some map picks and bans as well.
We are going to go and visit BERZERKERS versus DAYCARE. And I'm so excited because I believe it was BERZERKERS who were like making their journey throughout the bracket, and they had a hard-fought battle. They did best of 3s. They had us waiting. That's who we're waiting for. So if you want to look at anyone and be like, casters, why you no start game? It was BERZERKERS going the distance, all right? It do be like that, especially in a tournament where it's not only just for the glory, but also for some money. And we are in the holidays, so it's important to have some extra money. Let's be honest.
True. All right, we're going to be going. Cute Noob, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready for what our first map is going to be?
Yes.
Split gone. Breeze gone. Sunset. First map. Bind. Second map. Ascent Decider. We'll see if we get there. Who knows? But Cute Noob, we're going to the L of A to start things off. How does that make you feel, considering how much you anticipated us potentially going to Sunset in our last best of 3?
If you're not already noticing, I am very excited. I love anything but Ascent and Haven being our first map. So I already love both of these teams. Specifically, I'm gonna love a little bit more towards KHALIDS DAYCARE because they're the ones who chose this. So that's where my brownie points are gonna go to. But the fact that Bind is getting thrown in the mix, I have seen Bind be played a lot more in these tournament formats. The use of the teleporters on point, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see the two controllers, whether it's the Viper and the Harbor coming out, or the Brim and the Viper. I've seen both of those wombo combos, and the fact that we decide to allow Ascent just to like chill there and potentially be visited makes me really, really happy. What about you?
I'm pretty excited for Sunset. Admittedly, I think that we might have a repeat of what we saw earlier in the day when Tenric and Keg were casting, where I think that this has a lot of potential to just be a complete stomp on one side. And usually, like, this is a situation where I would expect the team that picked it to be the team to do the stomping. That's what we saw earlier in the day. And typically with brand new maps, like, unless one team just like strictly is better at aiming than the other, like, usually you're picking a map like this because you have a plan, because there's a like some game sense going into it. You're used to it more than other people. And I don't want to waste any more time. Like, I'm ready to see what agents are going to be picked up on Sunset. And I know that all of our viewers have got to be feeling the exact same way that we are. And we're already gaming over here. Holy smoke.
Wait a minute. We're going to bring a Phoenix into the mix.
Yo,
okay.
Phoenix is sick on this map. I may or may not.
I have not seen a Phoenix on this map, so I'm excited. You say it's good. I have 1000% faith in you, so I'm already looking at that and being like, ooh, number 1. Are they really number 1?
Do I think that we might just see a lot of strength coming out from the Raze, because Raze is just like a tried and true agent that just is so strong? And I'm talking about how this Phoenix could potentially pack a punch, but in reality, the agent that strictly packs the most punch is Raze. Yeah,
with the damage, no, I completely agree with you.
So much. So we'll see how it's going to go. There's a lot of utility coming out from KHALIDS DAYCARE to try and push onto this site. And it looks like they have successfully gotten Vims to push way far back there. And Hot Hands is going to try and just keep the players in this garage area back as far as possible, as the rest of the defense moves on to try and retake this site, clearing out these corners with these pieces of utility and starting these pistol jousts.
One enemy remains.
Oh my!
Wow.
Built?
Okay.
It's a Bullet, aka I got a little bit of information for you guys. Bullet actually comes from CS, so do I expect anything less? Yeah, thanks to our production team, aka Flippy, was like, yeah, I know this player. They used to play CS, so we saw the shots being hit there, but it seems like everybody from Team KHALIDS DAYCARE was able to get there, so everyone's on the board, everyone's feeling good.
Yeah,
and
this is a really clean like look where everyone has one and everyone's 0-1 on the other side.
Wait a moment.
What a first round. Ooh, a little bit of information gathered by Khalid's camera there. At least to start things off. And now it's time for a mid push using the extra range from some of these weapons to our advantage. Number one's maybe got to be a little bit careful as that dark cover could be taken down any moment. But it looks like it's not too big of a worry as the rest of the team has pushed on towards this B site, and that bomb is going to be able to go down. And it might be just another flawless round for the side of Khalid's DAYCARE, as we just continue to use this Phoenix utility to push all around, push through. Let's see. Can we make something happen, Juice? Doesn't look like we're able to. Okay, so my favorite part, okay, we talked a little bit about Sunset, and I know that we also said some other things, but I love getting the references for all the different food places on Sunset and the references for the actual food places in LA.
I don't know if it's just my brain, but I want to make sure I understand this. So you're talking about the boba. Yes.
Yeah, and like the
boba
cracked
place.
egg and the pho place. Yeah. They're like all supposed to be referenced to actual places in LA, and I think that's really cute.
I think we should go on a hunt. We should take a picture in-game and then IRL. And that would be such a
Oh my
great
gosh,
TikTok.
content!
That would be great. This is the second time they take mid-control, too. Do you think a Sunset is a map that's kind of like Ascent, right? Where mid-control is so important?
I do tend to think that. I think that also when you're playing something like the Phoenix and the big open space that you have at the end of mid, like it's kind of far to push up, but the way that Curveball works, you just like have the most open space there to be able to kind of pop out, take somebody down with that flash, covering as much space as possible. So I like going in that direction to optimize your character picks as much as possible.
Well, picking off is going to be this market player. Khalid's DAYCARE just seems to go and really demand the map space. They have seemed to just be able to get onto site so quickly with that first blood. Now the retake's working out a little more in Berserker's favor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we've been able to go between a lot of these Khalid's DAYCARE players, and a lot of them had zero utility, which is like, it's good that you're using your utility. It's better to use it than lose it, or use it than not and just continuously fail by not being able to have that extra bit of oomph. However, when you're on the attacking side, you've used all your utility just to get the bomb down. It's really hard to play a post plant without any of those extra pieces, especially knowing that you're going to be playing against somebody like a Breach who's going to have a stun and a bunch of ways to clear you out of corners and make sure that you can't say much about it. So I'm not surprised that they had that round not going in their favor after they commanded so much utility early in the round to try and keep them in a good place to get the bomb down. Quick push now, it looks like, over towards the entry of B, just trying to clear out as much as possible with those prowlers. We previously were also seeing a lot of the prowlers and Skydog get used to, do this and taking out the Cypher Tripwires. And I'm a little sad that all the dogs are just being sacrificial, but I understand it's good use of utility to just make sure that you're not going to get tripped up in those moments. And it does kind of also play a little bit of a baiting game. The moment that you take those out, you're able to just see if you're demanding more attention on that side of the map and try to go for some of these rotations and catch people in the middle.
But so far, it's a guiding light to give information over to Berserkers here. Bomb. And you talk about those sacrificial prowlers right there. There's another one. But hey, it's giving benefit here to Khalid's DAYCARE as they get onto the B side.
All right, stun does go through, but it looks like it's a little bit too late for how quickly Khalid's DAYCARE has pushed onto this site. That haunt was able to really reveal Vims there, and Vims first to fall. Follow that up with a neural theft, and the defensive side has been seen. And, ooh, a very nice curveball to come through there as well. Trying to see if we can finish off as many of these defensive players as they push back onto site. Unfortunately, Vision forced to push back, but thankfully Bullet and Khalid both get 2 kills within that round, able to bring Khalid's DAYCARE up to 3 and sit pretty on quite a bit of economy here.
Yeah, you talked at the beginning the use of breaking any utility that Berserkers had, laying onto B main. That allowed them for them to retake the site, but in a more creative way. They seem to continuously go onto this mid and make sure that they have that control to then get into market and then really collapse onto the players onto B site. I feel like Berserkers were a little bit too eager to retake the site. They didn't really quite wait for the rest of the team, so they must really work together to retake sites as the running back gathers no information. Well, gathers information, but no space.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting too. There's 4 players on that A side, so that's like their gamble stack on this safe round, as Sambe almost is able to take out Zeem, but not quite. And Vision, ooh! Okay, thankfully we got the homie back up from Bullet there, otherwise that could have been disastrous, as the Seas is going to try and lock down Fraggleton? Fraggleton.
Hey, that's a good name.
Yeah. I was like, Frog, not Frog. Frag, yeah.
We are doing very well.
KHALIDS DAYCARE doing a really good job of actually not going from the same place that the run-it-back was used, because typically once a run-it-back is used, one of the first things that you can kind of expect people to do is try to go to the recovering Phoenix and try to just like put a lot of pressure there. So I actually like that some of that attention was pulled in a different direction where the Phoenix was coming from. They were able to push up through mid and kind of do that as well. I think it could have been potentially risky had the guns been better on Berserker's side, because they would have been going into the exact site that Berserkers had decided to gamble stack.
Well, this is a very hard spot to be if you're Berserkers, because your economy is constantly fluctuating. You don't have a lot of ultimates to work with, but what you do is you have the aim. Sambe.
You got the Sambe.
Yeah. You have a Sambe.
I do. People in chat are gonna be like, what is that? My husband's name is Sam. Oh, Khalid, though. Okay. I was like, KHALIDS DAYCARE struggled a little bit when Sam's got that double kill. I was like, okay, it's looking good for Berserkers, but I feel like KHALIDS DAYCARE has started to decide that they don't need to put all of their eggs in one basket. They don't all need to stay together. And so they're kind of doing this thing where they push up through mid, but then are kind of like divulging into other sides of the map and just using their aim to their advantage, because Khalid, owner of the Daycare, so makes sense. Khalid, top of the board, and 10-1, which is an impressive score line for 6 rounds, and doing a great job of winning a lot of these gunfights and being extremely impactful for this team.
Right there.
I will say though, Berserkers 4 ultimates in this round, so this could be how they start to turn this tide.
Face your
But speaking of great aim from Khalid, a quick headshot to come through, and a Nightfall going in as well. Doesn't tag anyone up on this B site, as everyone from the defensive side is hung up in mid.
That was a very ambitious mid lurk there by Khalid.
Oh,
Fraggleton, able to take
Fraggleton doing a good job with that high-low. Oh, okay, good on Zeem to go ahead and turn.
Remaining.
Okay, Vision getting. We really pulled out the Prowler there. Okay. Ooh. Oh, we're playing a dangerous game. Yeah, just yeet all your utility there. Success. Sam had some impressive shots earlier, but is not going to be able to even be given the chance this time, as Bullet shrouded stepped across that little gap there. Didn't even want to give Sam the chance. All right, so we did use the Seekers in that round, but we were able to not get the round in Berserker's side. So I like this time to call out for why is that name so difficult? Fraggleton.
Yeah, it's a word. What is it? A tongue twister? Yeah, it's a tongue twister. It
doesn't even seem like it should be, but it definitely is.
Yeah, you need to take a moment. You're like, Fraggleton, yes, easy, got it. But yeah, Berserkers are falling behind quite a bit. And we talked about it, which was the team that usually picks this map is the one that feels more comfortable with it. Hence the, I'm going to allow for this map to go, or I'm going to choose this map to come through. Berserkers have had some like moments of shining light where it's like, okay, they might have got the hint of what KHALIDS DAYCARE is doing, but things start to fall apart when KHALIDS DAYCARE are just hitting every single shot, right? You can't really plan to not get eliminated if the headshots are there. I think friendship is going to be important here for Berserkers on the defensive side at half. It's like you have to make sure that you're trading off one another. If not, then, you know, things are going to continue to go the way that they are so far.
Yeah, I think the other thing that becomes kind of painfully apparent when people aren't as comfortable on a certain map is they hold on to their ultimates, and it's simply because you just like don't know the most effective place to use your ultimate, and that juice ends up being absolutely huge. But I mean, if you're a character like Raze, the rocket is good whether you know where you need to point it or not. So I love blasting off with that to start things off. A 1-for-1 trade, it's not too bad considering Berserkers have kind of struggled to get first bloods, and maybe this is just that little bit of an opening that they need, especially taking down that Phoenix early and denying them the chance to use that run back.
Yeah, that was a really nice Seekers. Made everyone get off the site, and the Trailblazer as well. That was a good combination.
I was going to say, yeah, I love the Trailblazer literally blazing a trail for Fade. It was like, nah, follow me in, I got you. Vim's unfortunate place. Thankful for Fraggleton, though. Okay, really just snapping on some heads here. Does have the Rolling Thunder. In a 1v2, I feel like this is the type of thing where I'm like, I don't know. I got the ultimate. I'm feeling myself after those last 2 headshots. I'd be trying to make it work. I do respect holding on to it, but I will take the time to also go back to what I was about to say previously, where if you're uncomfortable on a map, you hold on to your ultimates for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
It's also kind of hard with certain abilities that you're just like not used to the most optimal place to put them on anywhere map. And so I think that that ends up showing up a lot. And then you're just like not using those extra pieces that you have to push forward in a game. I will say, Khalid has tripled the amount of kills in the last 2 or tripled the amount of deaths in the last 2 rounds. So Berserkers, they're starting to get there. They're opening it up. We're getting into it.
They for sure are at least trying to survive here. With Fraggleton having that hero weapon, will give them some sort of fighting chance for this following round. They, like you mentioned, they do have some ultimates. Vision, nobody saw that. Don't worry. Everything's okay.
Hey, that's Berserkers. They maybe don't know it, but they've got a little extra help this round. Run it back, gets popped, is going to be something to take out one of those tripwires. We're not getting a lot of information here, but we took out quite a few pieces of utility, so we got to take our dubs where we can get them. Vim. Okay, we're just slow walking around, trying to run away from some of the action that's happening towards mid. Get a new angle here.
Ooh, that's a great seize.
Oh no, okay. I was surprised that seize hit us. That looked like we were out of range of it. Rolling Thunder comes through, and Bullet's going to be able to find one, but a nice little trade back from these Omens as much as possible, and it is going to force KHALIDS DAYCARE to try and make a rotation through mid and right into the clutches of Sam Bay, who's able to get 2 very nice headshots with that Sheriff. Ooh, Bullet almost caught with the Shrouded Step out.
30 seconds
and now with
left.
6 HP. Looks like we might be playing the save game for the side of KHALIDS DAYCARE as well. Oh, Fancy Pete.
The lit is currently lit.
Oh, yes.
I mean, one health per...
okay. This is a place where if we really wanted to go for it, I'm a From the Shadows believer. This is a place where I'd be like, all right, let's go ahead.
Nope. Not enough time, though.
No. But we could have From the Shadows grabbed the spike, gone to a site. With 6 HP, it's like also just like very difficult to make happen. But if we were hellbent on getting those 300 credits for our team for planting the bomb, there was a shot.
Yeah. I would have liked to see it. Very ambitious. You know, at least they got the 200 credits for getting an elimination. that helps themselves. And let's be fair, they don't actually need the money. Right now, KHALIDS Daycare is flowing with cash income. While Berserkers, they are struggling a bit. They did manage to get that last round, which gives them a little bit of breathing room. And I like this aggression. I think they should start flanking a lot more. That's how they were beneficial the previous round.
Yeah, it starts to be a piece of what they're doing, but pretty quickly backing off here. At least just trying to stay safe. I think it's hard when you're like trying to go for those flanks and you were previously playing a buddy system and then you decide to have one of your players fall back, but you're still trying to make sure that you're staying as safe as possible. X and B able to get quite a bit of information from the amount of utility used on this entrance onto B. The blaze goes up to try and allow for this Phoenix to push onto site. Unfortunately, the curveball.
No way!
I was gonna say the curveball's not gonna blind anybody up, but that smoke will be the death of XNB. Oh, Vims. Oh, this is bold. Fraggleton's gonna find one. But we've got a whole lot more work to do in this 4v4 with this bomb down for Berserkers. Trying to win these gunfights, pushing onto the site. Number one's going to be able to pick up 3. Will Vims also be able to pick up 3? Looks like it's 6 HP and only 1 player left in Bullet to try and just take these shots through the smoke. But unfortunately, the double peek from the 2 remaining players is going to be too strong for KHALIDS Daycare, who are on a roll but might be being halted in their path.
Yeah, that was a really well executed retake there by Berserkers. The use of the utility was on point. Also, the rotations were quick, very quick. You talked about Vims getting that quick 3K, but I'm talking about Fraggleton taking out the aftershock and just eliminating a player as well. And the swing off of that smoke together, as opposed to each one going one by one, was what really got them that time. So just slow things down, or maybe even just give up the site is what worked in their favor. We're going to see an operator in the hands of Berserkers, and they're starting to feel confident little by little.
I mean, that's what they need. They need that confidence. They need a little bit. Oh, Juice is going to get blinded by that paranoia, though. Goes to throw. Okay, thankfully that was run it back. Otherwise, I think that was a no-scope. It was. Or it was just, like, really fast, but... wow, okay. I mean, at least it was a run it back. Flash comes through, but number one does not follow up on it. Really just kind of toying with as many defensive side players in mid as possible. Zeem's maybe playing a dangerous game here. I maybe don't like how much we're staying in mid knowing that Juice has an operator. Yeah,
they're gambling with fire. I think at this point, they are trying to come up with a solution to what do they want to do. Do they really want to get B? Are they hoping to get off this up? Right now, it looks like the choice is going to be to head on over to A site, and this looks like the perfect choice.
Face your fear!
Oh, yeah, Nightfall is going to be dedicated onto this site as well. Left. Does not tag up XMB, but is going to be enough for them to try and clear out that backup site before being able to push on and get that bomb planted. Defensive side really waiting for everyone to get there. And Zeem maybe wrong place, wrong time as, whoa, number one also able to get the better of Juice there. Blind for blind back and forth, but Fraggleton's gonna be able to come out on top as well as X and B. You'll never have a moment that you're not blinded there between the Sky, the Breach, the Phoenix. Woo! That's a rough place to be.
That is...
Yeah.
Sorry. I was really eager. I was thinking about a point and I was like, no, yes, you're making a very great point.
In the half.
My point was just that sometimes I forget that people are blinded because it doesn't show you as like how you're blinded in game from the observer view. You just have the little like anti-eyeball icon. Mm-hmm. And then I have to remind myself that that means that we can't see anything. That's why the person that we're observing isn't moving, isn't doing anything. It's because they can't see.
No vision. And I was at the beginning of the match, I was going to talk about what's going to be the difference between having a Breach and a Sky versus having a Sky and a Fade, right? And so far, right now, after the adaptation that Berserkers has made from the initial run of KHALIDS Daycare, it has worked out really great. I mean, besides the fact that XMB has hit every single shot, the retakes have worked out because you do have the Leer seeking out the location of the enemies, but also the flash to completely like give him no vision whatsoever.
Yeah, I think the other thing that we're starting to see Berserkers do really well is just waiting for KHALIDS Daycare to take the site and then just coming in for these retakes. It's exactly what we're getting to see here. Seems trying to hold it down, but it's just too much. Berserkers have done a phenomenal job of reading how KHALIDS Daycare were playing this attacking side. Just how much utility we were able to see thrown out in these early rounds for executions onto the site. And Vims just was like, okay, you know, if you're gonna use all of your utility to get past my tripwires and try to like clear all these corners, I'm just gonna stand like all the way back in my own spawn and just watch on my camera and just wait for my team to come join me. Like, if that's what it takes, cool. And we got to see time and time again that KHALIDS Daycare were struggling to play post plants where they didn't have any utility left. And so I love just this adaptation from Berserkers and Vims especially, just being able to say, all right, I'm just gonna back off. I'm just gonna wait. Have my team come join me. We play retake when we have all of our utility, and we've just waited out all of yours.
Pretty much sums that first half. Now as we swap into the second half,
Blinded.
what utility are we going to use on the side of Berserkers to get rid of this Cypher utility? I feel like it's a known fact. Cypher will be playing one side alone. And so far, the guess is correct. Trailblazer is going to be the initial point of
I
entry.
found my wire. H3.
Oh, Khalid. Force back. Looks like we're doing our best Vims impression. Unfortunately, Crosshair not hanging out towards that lower level of B site and lined up with X and B. And Vims on a little bit of a lurk watch here and is trying to not get chopped by this Prowler. Unfortunately, Vision is the only one running at Vims. And it looks like we're not going to be able to beat up on Bullet there for too long. There's only 2 players of KHALIDS Daycare remaining. They're trying to suss out where these final remaining attacking side players are, but it looks like we're just not able to find them long enough to start doing a defuse. And XNB with 3 is going to bring Berserkers to 6.
That was so nice by Vims, just to be the distraction, to add that fear into the minds of KHALIDS Daycare, to be like, oh, we have someone flanking us, we need to just watch out for that. And as they retook the site, the rest of the players were clearing out. So that was a very well put together first round. They were able to get rid of the utility of Cypher fairly quickly. And you stated, the shots are there for Berserkers. One more, and I mean, this one is going to be their buy-up round, so they're going to have that weapon advantage. As long as they play it together, it should be fine to make this an even matchup.
Yeah, and considering how strong we saw KHALIDS Daycare being at the start of the first half, I was kind of expecting them to have more an advantage going onto their defensive side, and they just ended up not having that. Ooh, Vision is forced way back by multiple pieces of utility and that satchel charge, but is getting run at by Fraggleton and Juice. Thankfully, Bullet was able to make it there for the assist. Roomba's going to try and clear them out as much as possible, but the crossfires just get to be held now for Berserkers. Not a lot of utility, which is something I've been highlighting a lot, but is something to consider here. Whereas XNB with a ghost somehow? We weren't watching XNB's POV, but
yeah,
going crazy with the ghost apparently. Those blew up so fast on the kill feed. What?
To be fair, there was Juice and Sambe who were like crossfiring before that and popped like some shots. So like, yeah, XNB just came by and was like, woo, clean up duty. I got it. Don't worry, friends. But XNB is a name that has literally jumped to the top of the leaderboard since the last 3 rounds of their defensive half, and they are consistently getting 2-3 Ks time after time. So shout out to XMB. But now following this is going to be their bonus round. This should be where KHALIDS Daycare has a rebuttal to how they're going to stop this attacking side for Berserkers.
Oh, the dog didn't clear the tripwire? Wait a minute.
Maybe they put it a little higher this time.
Okay. Oh. All right.
One enemy remaining.
Little running shots coming out there, but still managed to pick one up. Vision also being able to do quite a bit of damage, but it's the lurk from Vims that's the one thing remaining. Going to be able to throw up the cyber cage long enough to retrieve a Vandal upgrade from that Spectre. And KHALIDS DAYCARE might have been feeling nice and cozy in this round, but definitely some time to be scared. It does force them to go for this reposition around the bomb and now just lay in wait to try and stop Vims from taking this one back. 30 HP is not exactly how much he would like to have when facing down 3 remaining KHALIDS DAYCARE players who narrowly edge themselves into a victorious placement once again.
There's a couple things that I want to highlight on that round. Number one, that camera position by Khalid was chef's kiss. I would never, ever look to see a camera there. I think that's the first time I ever see that camera position. It's in this corner, right where he's putting it. There you go. And then number two, the adaptation of raising that tripwire so that the Trailblazer doesn't hit it, and now the players of Berserker need to adjust to eliminate that tripwire. That allowed for the shots to just come raining from above, and KHALIDS did a really quick rotation. So now, as weapons are evened out on both sides, or as they should be. I didn't quite get a chance to look at the economy here.
Scout destroyed.
Yeah, they are pretty even.
Okay, cool. KHALIDS just adapting to a more give up the site and let's retake it together. And that's what we saw work a lot for Berserkers.
Ooh, but the lurker in Vims once again is going to be able to find a target, take out number one, and Juice's explosion onto sight. Going to be able to find one as well. And we might be looking at a team ace here if we can get one more player from Berserkers onto that kill feed, but who knows? Maybe Khalid just goes ahead and saves. This is a place where you know that you and your team certainly don't have enough to buy up into Vandals once again, I don't believe. But does in fact just decide to try and make something work. And it's a flawless round for Berserkers, who I think are kind of edging themselves into a place where victory might be imminent for them.
Yep. I mean, economy-wise, they do feel pretty good. The ultimates are rolling in. We have that neural theft from the shadows. We almost have the Seekers also activated. And they are able to get that pick, Vims, consistently getting that first blood onto mid time after time. And being able to really get into the spawn of KHALIDS DAYCARE. And then the rest of the teammate just gets onto the site.
So this is different.
Yep, get a 5-stick. Oh, okay, that was a drive-by there. That was like, and then they like pieced out.
Yeah, that's how you gotta play the Stinger. Oh, it gets tagged up by that Paranoia. Exit B, not safe behind that Radianite box. And just so much damage. Oh, we know where Bullet is hiding. Unfortunately, the Seas is doing a great job of holding down those players on Berserkers from pushing onto this site. And Bullet's just gonna have to try and defuse the situation as much as possible with the pieces of utility that Omen has left.
This is... We were talking about all the signs of Berserkers being winning, but right now, number advantage is huge.
Oh, we're still trying. Yeah. We're still trying to hit this A site, which kind of boggles my mind.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, unless... Oh, we are. Oh, I'm so confused. Oh, run it back, popped, and allows for number one to be able to pick up a pick onto Fraggleton there. And what a round. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead, and the moment that I think we should have gone to the other site and instead we just like wrapped around, I feel like Sunset kind of changed the name in rotating compared to a lot of other maps. Like, this is just... I just wish we would have rotated. I can't exactly find the words that I'm trying to come up with. I'll try and summarize it on the next round after I've had a little more time to think and break that down in my brain.
No, I definitely think that it was a lot of Berserkers wanting to be hard-headed and thinking like, oh, we want to take this site because we have the weapon advantage. I think having the weapon advantage really does give you that confidence. It's like, just eliminate them. We have the better weapons. It's that easy. But what KHALIDS Daycare did so wonderfully was not be overly zealous and try to rush since they knew they had the weapon deficiency. So to be able to just hold the position, hold the off angle, and allow for Berserkers to go into their crosshair really worked out in their favor. But Berserkers now are slowing things down, really working to gather the information about who, what, where. And so far, they know that mid is occupied by 2. They know exactly where Phoenix is as well. We're gonna just be working towards grabbing those ore points.
Kind of like that game plan. See, okay, now way less action has happened, but we've decided to rotate. This I like. I think it's unfortunate that we're potentially going to be running right into Zeem. But right place for Zeem to be. I think this is like the big thing that the defensive side is kind of prompted to do on a map like this, and it's hold on to your site for as long as possible. And it's really been something that they're able to make work for them. And just holding down the fort for both of the defensive sides that we were watching. Oh, unfortunate timing between those two, but Bullet is. No, we do. Narrowly.
Planted.
Oh. I feel like I'm watching some of these shots and I'm like, breathe, but then I'm also holding my breath just watching them, so.
It's so hard. Oh, nice camera.
Well, I have to imagine that, like, these players have been playing a lot today. We're this far, it's late, and they're probably having a worse time than me, too, as number one only player remaining for KHALIDS Daycare, and just having to fight the 3 remaining Berserkers players. This is quite a back forth game.
I want to see more Berserkers aggressing the site just like they did. Right there, they were forced to aggress the site because there was only like 10 seconds left or even less. But that's when they were successful. You're able to get the initial mid pick. Bims, they're relying on Bims being the first one to get that first blood over onto the fade. And if I'm being honest, KHALIDS Daycare, they're getting a little bit too eager to rotate. They're like, ooh, nobody's here. Let me go see if I can get someone else in another location. So if you can really exploit the fact that they are rotating a little too quickly, then you're just going to get the site for free just like you did the previous round.
Yeah, I think the other thing that we're seeing KHALIDS Daycare do very differently from Berserker's defensive gameplay is the amount that they're kind of dedicating players up really far in mid. Like, you can see just how far number one is up mid. And I think that makes things a lot more difficult, especially like Vims is really Cypher lurking, and I think actually, maybe didn't get to see number one, but we have our camera set up in that same little window, and I guess it's just trying to lurk as much as possible. Oh, we're really turning back this way. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared.
One enemy
There's
remaining.
so many choices being made here,
and everyone is
that
making
I
a
can't
different
even.
decision.
Yes.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem with this game right here, and also ranked in general. But even our observers like,
30
wait, which
seconds
one do I
left.
choose? There's so many choices.
Oh, okay.
Cover going out.
At least XMB kind of like understands this angle, is able to push back to safety, and decides to go back into the Maw of the Beast here. Okay. Bold was like, maybe if somebody decides to push up. Unfortunately, this is a situation where I feel like we just don't even have time. Oh, camera? Hello.
Wait.
Wait! Okay,
Yeah, I have a big question mark on my face, chat. Because
question mark king?
Yes. And I think, yes, we need to take this time out too. Thank you. So we were talking about the choices, right? There was so many choices.
Chatting at
You know
each other.
someone's
I
flanking.
can't tell what it says. I'm so sorry.
We got a timeout thrown into a technical pause, so we can really digest this, Becky.
Okay.
So number one, we knew that there was someone flanking, but we also knew that there was 2 players onto B site. So if we do quick math,
Okay.
we're 5 people, and there's only 1 person flanking. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
But the choice was we should one of us should peek, And then the rest of us were just kind of like, we should one by one go into the hands of number one. and that doesn't work out. This is a team game. We all need to peak together. But huge kudos to KHALIDS DAYCARE because they realized, hey, there's always one player lurking mid. If we can trade them off, then we can collapse onto where the rest of the players are. And that's kind of Valorant in general, is like, how are we adapting to what our opponent is doing?
Yeah, and I think we're seeing like a lot of adaptations, and I would also argue a lot of over adaptations from both of these teams. I would have expected KHALIDS DAYCARE. Again, we started off with them being basically like 7-1. So I thought that they were gonna kind of avalanche this game, and then we got to see a good amount of fight back from BERZERKERS. They made good adaptations. They decided to just like wait off of sight while KHALIDS DAYCARE was on the attacking side. And I think they did a good job of like holding on, playing to their outs in every single one of those rounds, and ended up coming out 7-5 and getting us to this position now where if you'd have asked me after the first half of the half, I would have been like, man, there's no way. But we're starting to really see a comeback from BERZERKERS, and I earlier said that I feel like BERZERKERS winning this game is imminent. And I think, like, to explain why I felt that way, the rounds that they're winning feel like they're in a little bit more control. I think that a place where they will surely be able to take it is kind of just in ultimate economy. Being able to use those to the best of their abilities.
Well,
That's something that I think they're kind of struggling with right now. And so I'd like to see them be able to figure that out and kind of go from there.
this is going to be a round where that is going to be the importance. If they are able to win out this round, as Juice gets the first pick, then they're going to be able to economically continue to buy fourth.
Satchel out.
But if not, we are going to see them.
Right by. Oh, wait, that's still B vision?
hiding.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Q.
No, you're good. That was quick.
All right. We at least got the pick back onto Juice, but Juice did get 2 to start things off, and those are 2 ultimates off the board as well. Neural Theft did come out to try and gather a little bit of extra information for KHALIDS DAYCARE, but a lot of shutdowns are happening as the remaining defensive players are trying to come onto the site. Zeem now the only one remaining, just trying to go for those fights. But it's a 10-10 now. BERZERKERS, I mean, didn't use any ultimates, but I think the other thing that we got to see there was kind of that more tactical usage. Oh, we did see an ultimate. We did see the Raze ult. So using that, just saying, I got it, let's use it. Better now than never. And also on top of that, got to see some beautiful breach utility.
Talking about Breach, already lining up the Rolling Thunder. And earlier, to finish my train of thought, they needed this round in order to economically allow them to get that space. You're looking at the next 2 rounds being in their favor and taking us into match point.
Juice just getting the headshot onto Bullet through the smoke.
Hacks.
Okay.
Check
XMG
PC.
also getting onto the kill feed, but that is... Juice is at the bottom of the board pretty recently.
Ain't no
But
way.
if Juice all of a sudden starts... If Juice keeps coming online,
Right there.
once again, BERZERKERS just in a great place. They used that ultimate. They still have 2 for them ready to go into this one. Granted, from the shadows, Neural Theft, a little more reactionary, a little less proactive. So probably something that we're going to see them really hold on to. But I have loved seeing the mixture of Fraggleton on this breach and the paranoia from X and B in these previous rounds. I think that them going mid is a little bit of a mistake because the way that they've been able to use those 2 pieces of utility, or those few pieces of utility, those 2 agents, has been in a lot of more close quarter areas, and so going mid is just a little too open for them to use that to the best of their advantage. As I love that we've also been able to go ahead with these tripwires that are just high enough that the dog doesn't catch them.
Yeah, that's a smart adaptation. We saw that happen from the second round of the second half there. Oh, this is a very ambitious hit. Let's just go. We just want to fight. We don't even want to plant the bomb.
Okay, the triple kill and the run it back?
Player standing.
Yeah, that was a choice.
Oh, boy. I mean, okay, that was the run it back and the nightfall. That was like 2 pretty big ultimates that they dedicated to getting themselves that one, but it was a pretty decisive victory on top of both of those.
Yeah, this now leaves. Actually, they should be fine for the next 2 following rounds. But still, I mean, you're that much closer to just closing it out here if you're Berserkers. I saw the vision of just kind of surprising KHALIDS DAYCARE, since you've been going B and then you've been going A aggressively together. So maybe if they took mid control, but it just... It fell apart very quickly. Now we're gonna try a little bit of a distraction over onto mid.
Yeah.
Oh, Vim's deciding to not lurk here too.
These trips are set up perfectly.
Oh, are we gonna run into it? Oh, okay.
Almost!
I feel like we've been so lucky every single time for Juice. I mean, not lucky there. Very unlucky there for both of those players. Definitely not Khalid.
Enemy remaining.
Div. Okay.
Careful now.
Cypher?
Yeah, that... Cypher?
Match point.
Yeah, Cypher is a really great agent to just... Cypher and KJ, I feel like both, are really great agents to just lock down a site. They like buy up so much time for your team to just rotate over, as long as you remain alive, and obviously if you're Khalid, then you're gonna get some eliminations as well.
Why is it, though, that the Sentinel players in these games are always like the most cracked aimers on the team?
Because they get to sit and meditate for a second. I don't know. I don't confirm.
The
nor
power
deny.
of meditation.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa! Do we have an operator on this Phoenix? Hold up. I've believed in a lot of things that have been happening. This one I might be a red flag for me.
I mean, it did get a little bit of bruising on Sam Bay here. Only 5 health in a dream, and as we know, Sky can't heal themselves, so...
Alright, Vision's gonna block off this area to mid with that door. Trailblazer.
I like the trip too.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. Trailblazer did not... Oh, no. Did not spot the people that are here. Run! Oh, we're gonna blind all of them. Oh, run.
Oh, the help.
My commentary now is just me talking to them like they're my teammates. Run!
Go away. Oh my, that was a beautiful flash. But the aftershock too?
Oh, yeah.
Down B.
Oh, the mixture of
One
utility
enemy
is
remaining.
doing wonders. Okay, I believed so hard in Berserkers for so long, and KHALIDS DAYCARE heard my belief
Defenders win.
and told me to shut up.
Calling me again when you're trying.
Wow.
They were like, this was our map pick. We didn't come to play around. But also, if KHALIDS DAYCARE has been playing like that, now I understand why we had to wait until 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to get to this match.
Yeah, they like to go the distance, it seems, because the potential to close things out are obviously there. I'm gonna be real, and I hope no one takes offense to this, but Berserkers kind of threw that. That round where they decided to take mid, when they had a weapon advantage, and they had that round won previously, they knew that worked out. Sometimes you have to believe in the same strat working out twice in a row. It's like, you just have to. That mid was a little bit too overly ambitious. It's almost like you mind controlled yourself. You played games on yourself instead of being like, I'm gonna outplay my opponent. So I hope that they can take a second, believe in their ability to come up with a plan, and then a belief for that plan to work out twice in a row. You know,
Yeah.
they say lightning may hit twice in a row. So we'll see how it goes.